from Tennessee, Mr. Cohen, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Director Wray, Mr. Rosenstein, was Peter Strzok the head of any of those investigations?
Well, Congressman, I don't know that I would characterize him as the head of any of the investigations. Certainly, he played a significant role in the investigations that are described in the Inspector General's report, but there was a supervisory chain, and as the Inspector General found, there were a number of people involved in that chain above him.
And I know you've spoken already about the Investigator General's report. It's very thorough, and you accepted it. It came to the conclusion that while he may have had biases, none of his biases played a role in their actions or their conclusions. Is that correct?
Well, again, I would defer to the Inspector General's own characterization of his very thorough investigation, but my understanding of it is that he found no evidence of political bias actually impacting the investigation that he reviewed.
So all we had was some talk between friends, maybe lovers, and it was just talk, but no policy and no action to bring about or effectuate any of their beliefs, correct?
Well, again, I don't know that I want to start characterizing their text messages. I expect all our folks to conduct themselves professionally at all times, and the other reason I want to be careful about straying too far is that, as I said in my opening, we have referred a number of individuals whose conduct is highlighted in the report to our Office of Professional Responsibility, and my commitment to doing things by the book includes making sure that our disciplinary process is done by the book, and having the director comment on their conduct in this setting is probably not conducive to that.
Thank you, sir. Am I correct that each of you were appointed by President Trump? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And who appointed the special counsel?
I did.
And you were appointed by President Trump?
Correct.
Now, President Trump talks about 13 Democrats running this investigation. Do you know who he's speaking about, and if there's any way that the Justice Department or President Trump knows if these people are Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Bolsheviks?
You have to ask him, sir. I do not know.
But you don't know if they're Democrats?
I do not know their political registration, no, sir.
Director Wray, do you know any of these people's political registrations?
I'm not familiar with their political registration, no.
Thank you. This report, the special counsel has gone on for a long time. Could that be because there is so much information and so many issues that have arisen from his investigation that it's impossible to just turn it off? Is that possible, Mr. Rosenstein?
Sir, I do not think you should draw any inference. I don't think, as these sort of investigations go, that it's actually been going on for a long time, and I can assure you that Director Mueller understands that I want him to conclude it as expeditiously as possible, consistent with his responsibility to do it right.
Has anybody ever accused Director Mueller, Special Counsel Mueller, of being dilatory, lazy, slow?
I certainly haven't, sir. I don't know what other allegations people make, but I certainly do not view that as accurate.
Director Wray, do you know Special Counsel Mueller's reputation for promptly doing his work and proceeding in a diligent path?
My own experience and familiarity with Director Mueller is that none of those adjectives would describe to much of anything he's done in his career for this country.
Director Mueller, as I remembered, volunteered to join the Marines in Vietnam, got a Purple Heart and had other commendations. Is that what you understand too?
Yes, sir.
And then when he came back, he went to law school, and he went to work for justice. He could have gone to Wall Street and made a lot of money. In fact, he went into private practice for a while, but he didn't like it, and he came back because he wanted to prosecute criminals. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know his motivation, but I do know he's devoted much of his career to public service and has foregone more lucrative opportunities.
And he prosecuted Manuel Noriega, did he not?
Congressman, I'm not certain whether he was, I think he was in a management position. I don't know if he personally prosecuted it, but I think that's correct.
And John Gotti?
I don't know the answer to that, sir.
Well, he's gone after big fish. Let me ask each of you to promise me something. Will you promise me and the American people that no matter what pressure is brought about and brought on you by whomever, that you will stay in your position and finish the job and do what you were appointed to do and what the American people need you to do.
Congressman, in the Department of Justice, we're accustomed to criticism, and it does not affect our work.
Congressman, as I've said repeatedly, I am committed to doing this job by the book in all respects, and there's no amount of political pressure that's going to dissuade me from that by either side.
Thank you. And I find you and each of you and Special Counsel Mueller as paragons and people who should be revered and not torn down, and people who tear them down,
Time of the gentleman.
tear down the flag and tear down the
of the
American
gentleman
government.
has
I yield back
expired.
and hope the Constitution is respected.
Time of the gentleman has expired. The chair recognizes the gentleman.